Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Refresh. We have an awesome session lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about how to make the most of an open house. And let me tell you why I get excited about how to make the most of an open house, okay? Because the open house is probably one of the oldest sales institutions when it comes to real estate sales. It's probably also one of the most antiquated, but down here at Ferguson Realty, we like to think that we've cracked the code on how to properly market and plan for an open house. So today's session, we're specifically going to cover 3 topics. First is the importance of scheduling the open house using the multiple listing service. Next, we're going to be talking about how we advertise it online 48 hours before the open house. And then last but not least, the importance of sending email invitations to your entire database. My name's Nat Ferguson. I'm the owner of Ferguson Realty. If you can hear me loud and clear, would you hit the like button, the love button? Let me know where you're watching from. Excited to see Jimmy Mackins here, Alan Harden, thumbs up. Maureen's watching. I see Renee's hit the little love button. Thank you for that. John Zitch is watching. What's up, John? John is our fantastic photographer. He makes all of our listings look as or more beautiful than they really are. Just kidding. They are beautiful, but good to see John on here. I'm just going to give you guys another minute or so. Let me know you can hear the audio. Does it sound okay? Am I coming through nice and clear? Perfect. Thank you very much. And I want to get into, our real estate refresh is a live weekly session. And the idea here is to provide actionable real estate advice. It seems like, a lot of times you have to call a scary salesperson to just get questions answered about things that might have to do with buying or selling real estate. And our goal here is to kind of open up the curtain, peel back the curtain, if you will, and just share with you what we do on a weekly basis that works really well for our clients. So today we're going to be talking about how we make the most of our open houses. And a quick housekeeping item, my staff is monitoring the comments here. If you have any questions, if you want to post them on the page, one of my staff will answer them. If you prefer to drop it in the private message via our page, we'll get back to you shortly after the show. I see Dana's here. Dana, thanks for stopping by. Hello. Great. We got a couple people tuning in still, more people kind of trickling into the live stream. I want to dive into today's topic, which is how to make the most of an open house. So let's just stop for a minute and think. When you think open house, you probably think of those little directional signs. They're out there bugging you on the weekend, right? They're cluttering up all the corners around town. We realized early on that if you waited until the day of your open house to set out little directional signs, you're probably going to have a really weak turnout, right? So the average turnout for an open house is about, depending on where your market is, you're probably looking at somewhere between 12 and maybe 17 people coming to the open house. We knew that if we wanted to give our clients the best chance at getting multiple offers, the very first weekend we put the home on the market, we needed to create what looked like a one-day sale, right? We wanted to get as many people into this open house as we could at the same time, because then what happens, right? People are like, God, there's a lot of people here. We should probably make a decision. There's probably going to be multiple offers here, right? And that plays into the psychology that goes into really a successful open house. We don't just want to create a place for people to come through and wipe their dirty shoes on your carpet. We want to create a bidding war for our seller clients. So I want to get into some of the stats here I planned before the show, and I love my stats. So the first one is looking at the majority of open houses and how they're planned, right? And I think I just touched on that, which was Renee's. I like the crying eyes. The stats behind that are pretty sad, right? Like 15% of all open houses are actually scheduled using the multiple listing service. Let me repeat that. 15% of open houses Okay, you hire a real estate professional. They said, we're going to get your house sold. We're going to do an open house. These open houses can be scheduled in advance using the multiple listing service. All licensed realtors should have access to the multiple listing service. Now, here's why that's important. I'm going to give you a little demonstration here real quick, why I think that's important, why I know it's important. So if you're just waiting until the day of your open house and putting out signs, we already know that most people have already planned out their weekend in advance, right? We all live on our phones. We all are, we live by our calendar, right? So if you want a lot of people to come to the open house, it would make sense that you would put it into the multiple listing service in advance. And by the way, through testing, we've identified the best day to schedule that open house in advance. How many days is that? Well, I can tell you that it's at least 4 days in advance. So I'm going to jump into Zillow here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if you're a home buyer, right? And today is Wednesday, so we always schedule our open houses today for the coming weekend. So let's say I'm looking in my general area, and I'm looking at the map, and I'll give you a visual here in just a second. I was going to cue this up beforehand, and I just didn't do it. So let me look right here in my general area. So when you look on these little maps, right, you see all those little for sale signs? Okay? Let's see if we can find one that says open, which means it'll be an open house this weekend. Okay? None of those has a little bubble on it that says open. Okay? Because as I told you, about 10% of people are actually scheduling the open houses in advance. The sun is getting me right in the face, so I'm going to turn myself here a little bit. Jimmy's going to kill me for not having the professional lighting. So putting it in the MLS in advance is a very important reason when you're planning your open houses, because if you tell somebody on Wednesday the open house is going to be on Saturday, guess what they do? They go into their calendar and they punch it in, and then they plan on attending. The more people that you can give advance notice to, the more people that are going to show up to your open house. So moving on, the next important point, advertising your open house. So you know, some of the people are going to be looking in their Zillow apps. Some of them aren't, right? Some of these home shoppers. The other ones are just going to be casually browsing Facebook, okay? And we capture a majority of people on Thursday with a Facebook advertisement saying, come to this open house on Saturday from 11 to 3. Here's a link to look at all the pictures. Here's a link to the map and the price and the square footage, etc. And what we're doing is, once again, now we're reaching a whole nother group of people that may not have planned on coming to the open house, and that boosts attendance. I was looking at our stats before the show, and I wanted to share this with you because I think if I don't have any context to share with you, you probably can't say, well, how successful are these methods in getting people to attend the open house? So our open houses regularly have 50 guests. And our best one this year, we had 67 people in attendance. Why does that matter? Well, I can tell you why. Because we sell all of those listings for over asking price. It's not an accident when you have, dozens of people coming through a home that's for sale. It looks like it's the hottest thing on the market. And of course, that creates multiple offers. That in turn drives up the price, and we end up selling your home for more money. That's why it's important. Last, I want to share with you what seems like a very simple strategy, but I haven't seen anybody doing it. In fact, the last I checked, I'm the only person that's using this strategy. But I think it's important for you to know if you're considering hiring a listing agent to get your home sold that knows what he's doing. So one of the things we've been doing for a really long time is making sure we send out an email invitation prior to the open house. So now we've scheduled it in the multiple listing service, giving people advance notice. We've put an advertisement on Facebook inviting people with advance notice. And now we don't want to miss anybody. So we've got an email invitation that we send to our database of over 4,000 people, and we send that the day before, making sure those people are also invited to the open house. Probably a lot of you got an email invitation to join me on this live stream tonight, right? That email invitation, a very similar tool that we use to reach out to a lot of people and invite them to our open house. It's not uncommon for people to be waiting outside of your home before we even open it up. In fact, I have to share a funny story real quick. We had this client earlier this year, and we scheduled our open house for 11 o'clock, and we get over there at about 10:30 to finish putting up our signs, which is the very last thing we do, by the way, is put up signs, because nobody reads them anymore. Everybody is looking at the little the map on their mobile phones, seeing which houses are open. And we get to the house probably about 15 minutes or so before we're due to actually have it open. And out in front of the house, we've got, I don't know, Alyssa would probably remember, I think we've got probably 6 or 7 people waiting outside. And the funny thing about it was, our clients, they were just about ready to leave the house. So they come out of their front door, and they're looking at like 6 or 7 strangers standing there, and they see us walking up to the house. And so they pull us aside real quick, and they say, "Are these people here to see the open house?" And we said, "Yeah, they are." And they said, "So these aren't paid actors, like you didn't pay people to stand here to impress us. You really promoted this open house so much that there's people waiting outside the door to come see it?" And I said, "Yeah." So the end result was we sold the home for over full price. We had a lot of people come through the house. And isn't that really the goal? When you're doing these open houses, the goal is not to have people come in and dirty up the house and, be tire kickers. And there's always going to be some of those. The goal is to drive as much traffic to your house and only inconvenience you for one day. We don't need to do open houses, multiple weekends in a row. If you do it right, you're going to funnel everybody in to the house within a 4-hour period of time. And that is what's going to get you some really awesome results with your open house. That's it for this week. I wanted to make it a quick session. I wanted to cover a lot of information in a very short amount of time. We're going to have this recording up on our Facebook page. We're going to have it on our YouTube channel. If you guys like the show, hit the love button. Give me some more love. What's up, Greg Wine? Good to see you. Renee, where's the love button? Hit that love button, guys. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. Listen, in closing, thank you so much for tuning into Real Estate Refresh. In the interim, if you hear friends or family members, maybe neighbors talking about buying or selling, we would certainly appreciate your referrals. Have a great night, you guys. We'll see you next week.